Good afternoon. I'm Phil Harris from Insight Analytical. I want to talk to you a little bit today about one of the automated sampling panels that we've just recently put together for one of our customers. So at Insight, we work a lot with process analyzers that sometimes require us to be able to grab samples, and we like to give our customers a methodology by which they can grab that sample remotely without having to send someone out directly to the panel whenever they need it. So on this automated sampling panel, we have flow coming up and going through an infrared flow cell. This has specifically been designed around a JP3 analyzer. So we have the infrared flow cell. The flow comes up, splits into two paths where it goes past actuated valves. These valves can be used to then trigger and fill sample bombs. The flow has its temperature, pressure, and flow rate measured on flow sensors. So the way we would use this is that in operation, the DCS can send a signal over to the PLC that controls the system. We give them a touchscreen control panel that lets them see that both of the sample receivers are currently empty. If one of those was full, and we'll show you this in a moment, we'll actually pull a sample. If one of them's full, there'll be a visual indication. When a sample gets triggered, it first fills receiver A. So since we're standing here at the panel, I'm going to manually pull a sample. So I pick receiver A, and I tell it I want to request a sample. You'll see the green light will start to flash until the analyzer says it's ready. And then you're going to hear the valve actuate, and that light will go solid, and it will fill the sample. So right now, the analyzer is saying, I want to get ready to store my spectra. Valve actuated. The receiver vessel is full. The pressure transmitter on the receiver vessel is sending a signal back to say it's at 60 pounds of pressure. So if there was a liquid flowing through here, it would have pushed liquid up in the cell and compressed the gas in the cell to 60 pounds pressure. Okay, so here we have an example of the remote sample being triggered. You'll see the light starts to flash, and then it fills the sample automatically. When the green light goes off, it says, you can stop acquiring spectra for this sample. So we have the sample in the vessel ready to go and be acquired. Now a sample has been trapped. It is held in the vessel until an operator comes out to pull a sample to take to the lab. When the operator comes out in the field, he opens the sample receiver, puts in a sample bottle, and then manually opens the spring return valve, which will allow the fluid that's trapped in the vessel to go in and fill the bottle. The spring return valve will automatically close, so there's no way that he can accidentally leave the manual valve open. He can now take the sample out, cap it, take it off to the lab. If receiver A is already full, it knows to automatically fill receiver B. If both receivers are full, it won't allow a sample to be pulled. So when we put together the panels, we ensure that all of the analyzer results are available, so you can see live readings from the analyzer. In this case, we're showing total C6s, paraffins, isoparaffins, naphthenes, and aromatics. We show the conditions under which the system is running, pressure and temperature. We can also go back and provide information on any alarms that are going on. So if the mathematical models are on the analyzer running, obviously the analyzer is not running right now, and so we're seeing a model fault, but we give cell pressures, temperature alarms as well. So we get a full log of those alarms, so you can go back and look at history, and, press page down, and we can go back to our home screen, and it'll be back to being able to pull samples. So we've got complete diagnostics available as well as analytical results. If he wants to do maintenance on the system, we don't want the DCS to trigger a sample while he's doing maintenance. So the panel is currently enabled. If he hits that button, it is overridden. And if we go back to the mainstream, it says that override is active. There's no way for the operator to pull a sample or for the DCS to trigger a sample while the panel is in override mode. This allows them to do maintenance if necessary on things like the pressure gauges or pressure transmitters. Be looking at the spectra that's being acquired on the spectrometer, and they might say, geez, we'd like to pull a sample now. It triggers and fills one of the vessels. If they want to pull another sample, it triggers and fills the other vessel. When the operator comes out, he can manually pull a sample for the lab off of the system, take it back to the lab. So again, this is an automated sampler for a low volatility. This is a heavy naphtha sample. And so a low volatility sample, if we were doing this for high volatility samples, we might pull this in a glycol displacement cylinder or a floating piston cylinder. And kind of that's it. I just wanted to give you a summary of what we do for auto sample panels.